League's artifact display back in your family's jewelry store down on 4th in downtown Cleveland, back when the then Cleveland Indians were competitive for their second World Series of the 90s. Where did the artifacts come from, Bob?
Well, that goes back all the way to 97, I think, if I remember correctly. And, most of the artifacts actually I acquired shortly after that when Wilmer Fields really planted the seed for, at that point in time, was going to be the Negro League Baseball Players Association Hall of Fame. So I just made a concerted effort to, collect and provide opportunity for visitors to see artifacts, but not just to see the artifacts, but to hear the stories about the game of baseball, integration and segregation, and the Negro League specifically.
Now, I've known you all my life, and I've always known you to be a baseball fan. But one thing I've never understood is what sparked your interest in the Negro League specifically?
Well, back in 97, when Cleveland was hosting the All-Star game, I worked for my dad in a jewelry business on East 4th. And a friend of mine, guy's name was Jack Kane, who's no longer with us, used to follow the Negro Leagues. He used to go to their conventions and things back in the late 80s, early 90s. And I was trying to figure out a way to draw new people into the jewelry business to sell some jewelry while they were here in town for the All-Star game, because it was drawing people from all over the country, actually even all over the world. And Jack suggested reaching out to Wilmer, and it was really going to be just a weekend, one-day sort of autograph session, fireside chat about his experiences in baseball, but also in life in segregated times in America. So that's how it started.
You needed to move out of the jewelry store into a larger facility in the Gateway District. Was that a result of the jewelry store seeing its last day, or this getting so big that you needed more space, or a combination of the two?
Well, it probably wasn't. It really wasn't the reason. Either of those weren't the reason for the move. Earlier on in the 80s, I was the founder and worked hard to restore East 4th Street. East 4th Street, at the point in time when I went to work for my dad, if someone said, well, I'll meet you down at 4th and Prospect, they would say, oh, well, I don't know if I want to go there because that's, crime, prostitution, drugs. So I made a concerted effort to restore that street and stabilize it. And fortunately or unfortunately, I guess fortunately for the museum, the street was restored. And the second time that it went through restoration, the street was closed for, 2 years practically. So the jewelry business, which funded the museum, was unable to fund it and basically, went out of business. We had a building there in the middle of the street where we were going to develop a museum focused on Negro League baseball and baseball in Cleveland. But again, we were forced out of the street. Fortunately, a fellow by the name of Vernon Fuller, who was a player for the Indians, played second base, agreed to be our volunteer executive director and helped us move into what's now the Fifth Street Arcades. And so we were there for a few years, which was a good space, and it was quite active. And then we had the opportunity to enter into a discussion with the League Park Heritage Group, and now we're right where we should be, in the home of and birthplace of Cleveland baseball.
Hard to believe that it's now 10 years since the museum opened in 2014, 8 years since you and I did the Desert League of Professional Baseball in 2016. And League Park is absolutely beautiful. Some things have been left exactly as they were. I remember telling you that there was a distinct smell of cigar smoke in the upstairs offices. And I had this mental image of, people making trades with the Yankees and the Red Sox while smoking cigars on the telephone. But as you think back on those 10 years, have you accomplished everything that you wanted to, or do you have more stuff planned for the future?
We have a lot more planned for the future. It's incredible to think that we've been there more than 10 years now, and that you and I, or that you put together that terrific event, which I've got to tell you, one of the jerseys that you gave to us through your program there is still on display.
Well, that's great.
In our international exhibit, but we've got a lot more to do. We need to really increase the activity on the park, the field, the visitor center. We've made tremendous progress, but I think that there's just a lot more to do going down the road to get more interaction from the neighborhood. Look, my guess is we probably get at least 10,000 people a year coming through this space, not including, the high school teams that come in and play during the year. But yeah, we've got a lot more to do, and we're excited about the future because we really think we're making some tremendous progress here. We threw our first pitch for celebrating the 1945 Negro League Championship. I sometimes say our kickoff, but really it's the first pitch of celebrating the Cleveland Buckeyes. And we're going to be doing a year-long celebration. There's going to be a play coming up. And then we will be having our final big celebration. And so everybody should mark their calendars, September 19th at the Music Box 2025, and September 20th, the day that they won the championship at League Park. We're going to do a big celebration. Hopefully we're going to bring in a bunch of players' families and really learn and talk about Negro League baseball and integration and segregation, not just in the game of baseball, but in our communities. Scott Longer is going to be coming in at the end of the month talking about his new book coming out, and it's about Ray Chapman and Ray Chapman's life and the history of his baseball career and what it meant not just to Cleveland, but to people in the region.
I want to thank Bob Zimmer for being our guest on Ohio Sports Magazine and talking about the Baseball Heritage Museum located at League Park, 66th and Lexington in the Huff neighborhood of Cleveland. And you stick around because there's more Ohio Sports Magazine straight ahead on the Ohio News Network.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
Meijer knows that Thanksgiving is a time to come together, eat together, and share together. During the week of Thanksgiving, November 24th through the 30th, when you buy Meijer brand foods, our Simply Give program will feed up to 4 million neighbors in need. So when you bring that perfectly fluffed stuffing to the table, the cranberry sauce and green bean casserole, you're actually bringing more good to more neighbors. Let's bring more good to Thanksgiving with Meijer brand and Simply Give. Exclusions apply. See Meijer.com for details.
Gambling too much or just can't seem to cut your losses? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, pub and gambling counselor at Maryhaven. Whether it's you or someone you love, we're here to help you control gambling before it controls you. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven is here for you no matter what. And that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Confidential and judgment-free, go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
Listen, you've been making house payments for years, right? And right now, your home's value has never been higher, right? That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. Good for you. That's cash you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel, everything you want. The catch is, you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with the TrueHold Sell and Stay Leaseback program. This is a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to TrueHold while its value is high. You bank all that equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And TrueHold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a TrueHold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. TrueHold.com.
Bob and Teresa Capace here at Worthington Jewelers. Thinking of proposing this holiday season? Find the perfect ring to capture your love.
Family owned for 25 years with over 1,500 styles and a relaxed, no-pressure atmosphere.
Worthington Jewelers, where Columbus gets engaged.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
At the Home Depot, the holidays have arrived.
And so is all my family. So I'm working on keeping up with the laundry.
The Home Depot is here to help with Black Friday savings up to 40% off select appliances. Spend less time doing laundry with smart, efficient appliances from Samsung. Ranked #1 in customer satisfaction.
Perfect. Less laundry time means more family time.
Get Black Friday savings now with free delivery and financing on select appliances at the Home Depot. Visit jdpower.com/awards for more details. Offer valid November 6th through December 4th. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Come try Skyline Chili's new Mac and Cheese 3-Way. Made with creamy cavatappi pasta in a 3-cheese blend. Topped with Skyline Chili and their shredded Wisconsin cheddar. The new Mac and Cheese 3-Way. At participating Skyline locations for a limited time.
Over the past few years, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected how we live our daily lives. Today, we also face a mental health pandemic that threatens our well-being as we attempt to rebuild our social networks and communities.
The pandemic has reminded us to value family, community, and our human connections. However, it has also left many of us feeling more isolated, confused, and alone, struggling to find meaning amid loss and uncertainty.
Today, 1 in 5 Americans experience emotional and mental health challenges, but many of us do not understand what we are facing or know how to ask for help.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, we understand what you are going through, and we are here to help. Our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all. We work every day to eliminate stigma, combat mental illness and substance use disorders, and advance mental health. If you or someone you love needs help, you are not alone. Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
When that alarm clock goes off, Morning Juice comes on. The perfect way to dominate your day or just lay around the house. Morning Juice.
Weekdays at 6.
The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
The Ohio State men's basketball team won their home opener this week against Youngstown State, 81-47, and are showing the world of college basketball that this team is for real. Ron Stokes is a color analyst for the Buckeyes radio broadcast and joins us now on Ohio Sports Magazine to talk about this season. Welcome, Ron. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jake. Thanks for inviting me to be on.
It's a pleasure. Hey, Jake Diebler stepped in, finished last season, and then became the new head coach back in March. Now he's in his first full season as the man in charge. How are the players relating to him as the head coach?
Great question, and I think it goes back to it normally is an easier transition for an assistant to becoming the head coach if they are very involved in the recruiting process for those players. And if you look at all the current players that return, Jake Diebler was heavily involved in their recruiting process, and he had a great relationship not only with them but with their parents. So when he obviously got the job, that led for most of them staying because they wanted to play for him. They believed in him. They believed in his system and what he would take their game to. And so I just believe that that's a big reason why when you look at the results after he took the job last season, they went out and beat the number 2 team in the country. Obviously, went on the road for Ohio State for the first time in a number of months. And then, of course, they had a great ending of the year. So I think they've responded to him very well because he does an incredible job of relating to kids. And that's something that either you have it or you don't. And he has it. And that's a big reason why Ross and the powers that be at Ohio State made the decision to hire him in the first place.
It seems from an outsider's perspective that they had the right people on the bus, but perhaps in the wrong seats. And it suggests that Diebler is somebody who is focused on his players' strengths and playing to them, whereas perhaps other coaches may have focused too much on their weaknesses. Would you say that's accurate?
Well, it's, the one thing about coaching, and, this is my 28th year, and I've seen a number of coaches here at Ohio State. I did pre and post game when, Randy Ayers was here as a coach, and then, then obviously the transition from him to the next coach, Jim O'Brien, and then, Thad Matta, then Chris Holtman. None of those guys forgot how to coach. They did something well to get the job in the first place, but the dynamics of a team is very fluid and it can change. And you start working with these kids in October when the season starts officially with practice, and then you go another 3 to 4 or 5 months together. There's times where you could lose the team. There's times where injuries can play a major part. Guys not happy with their playing minutes and they leave, they become disgruntled. Long story short, the dynamics of a team is very unique and complex. And it was one of those things where, for whatever reason, it just didn't work out for Chris. And, Chris is a fine coach, and he'll do well wherever he goes. He's at DePaul now. And Ohio State did what they had to do. And they made a decision to move in another direction. Sometimes kids just need to hear another voice. And that voice was Jake Diebler. They've responded to it, and hopefully they'll continue to listen and respond, and Jake Diebler will have a great success at Ohio State.
Going into the home opener against Youngstown State, Diebler said that the Youngstown State team was not a team to be taken lightly, and that he thought it would be a close game. Yet the outcome was 81-47, showing fantastic offense and also great defense. 4 of the 5 starters scored in double digits. Do you think that's something we're going to see more often as we continue with the season?
Well, I've said from day one, I know it's early, the strength of this Ohio State team is their backcourt. And in college, if you have a backcourt that can make plays and you have confidence in them doing things on both ends of the floor, you have a chance to be in a lot of games. And Ohio State has a strong backcourt, one of the best in the country in terms of, Bruce Thornton, a great facilitator, doesn't turn it over, great leader. Micah Parrish, experience, been to deep runs in the NCAA tournament. Michi Johnson, a guy who was all conference at South Carolina. So the backcourt is really solid. And so I just think the team is responding very well right now. Now, I'll go back to what I just said. I mean, this thing can change. I mean, you look at Texas, their second best player did not play in that game against Ohio State because he was injured. A 7-footer for Youngstown State did not play in the game against Ohio State. Now, there's still a quality opponent, but not having your key pieces can impact your productivity. Right now, Ohio State is healthy. Their depth is an advantage for them because all their players have been performing so far. I know the bench will shrink as the season goes on, but right now their depth is their strength, and that's going to be a big advantage for them as the season goes on.
How far do you think they can go this year? And I'm not going to hold you to it, but which teams are going to be their biggest challengers?
Wow, I mean, that schedule is loaded. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're departing to play Texas A&M, who's a solid team. I know that, Texas A&M was ranked when they, played them early in the year last season, and they unfortunately had a tough stretch in February. They lost 5 games in a row, but they finished well. They have a great backcourt. And then, of course, they played Texas already. You got Pitt at home. You play Kentucky, Auburn, who just beat Houston. Their schedule is locked and loaded. I'm not even talking. You hadn't got to the Big Ten yet, right? Rutgers has all these talented players. Indiana's made some transitions. Purdue is Purdue. Michigan State's going to be solid, and the list goes on and on. Illinois. So, but again, I think because of their backcourt, provided everyone stays healthy and they continue to want to learn and grow as a team, Ohio State will be competing up at the top of the league. I really feel and believe that because of the strength of their backcourt.
Well, they are a fun team to watch and an even more fun team to listen to on 97.1 The Fan. We want to thank Ron Stokes for being with us today. There's more Ohio Sports Magazine straight ahead on the Ohio News Network.
30% of D1 athletes report betting-related threats and harassment after games. This threatens the safety and mental health of students like Jade.
I'm a college athlete, and I'm more than a bet. When you threaten my life and my family because you lost money, it really scares me.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Having health insurance is important. So, if you or anyone in your family has Medicaid or CHIP, listen up. Check your mail for a renewal form from your state. Complete the form and mail it back right away so you don't lose your coverage. If you do lose Medicaid or CHIP, visit healthcare.gov to see if you're eligible to enroll in a low-cost, quality health plan. Keep your family covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If a friend asks how you're doing, and you say,
I'm okay.
When the truth is,
I don't want my problems to burden anyone.
Or you say,
hang it in there.
Because
if I ask for help, they'll just think I'm weak.
Then this is your sign to call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential support. Anytime. You don't have to hide how you feel.
Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Do you want a job that is flexible, secure, and fun? It also offers excellent pay and is ranked as one of the best jobs in America, too. I'm talking about being a dental hygienist. And all you have to do is complete a 2-year program after high school. Visit ODA.org to learn more and to start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. The Fan. Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
The MLS soccer season is over for both Ohio teams now, and Neil Sika joins us on Ohio Sports Magazine to summarize the Columbus Crew and FC Cincinnati season. How crazy has soccer gotten in Ohio with now 2 great teams playing in the Buckeye State?
Well, I think that it's at a fever pitch for sure, just because of the nature of where we are with stadium building and the fact that you've got 2 competitive teams, not just teams that are out there trying their best every single week. These guys are hoping to contend for championships. Columbus has already done that. They've got the history to do so. Obviously, they fell up a little bit short in trying to defend their title this year. And FC Cincinnati, despite a seasonal stretch where they slumped well out in the first round of the playoffs, I think their window is still pretty high. And I think more importantly, what allows this to be an exciting time is that the rivalry has allowed itself to become something of a competitive nature, and to the fact that the fans love watching these teams play, and hell is real. The playoff series last year, or at least the Eastern Conference Championship, took it to another level and will allow that to kind of resonate for the next several years.
Both teams made the postseason this year. In your opinion, who was the better team?
Well, I still, not because of my ties to Columbus, I still thought the Crew had maybe the best shot even to beat Inter Miami, and it just goes to show you how wild the MLS playoffs are with all top three seeds out. I mean, that's the big marquee with Messi being eliminated in Miami in Game 3 against Atlanta. But to go and speak specifically to Columbus and Cincinnati, I think at the start of the year, Cincinnati had the caliber of defense with Matt Miazga and Miles Robinson. They were really ready to make a push at this thing. Then Miazga got hurt. The scoring kind of dried up and lost 7 of their last 12 games in the regular season. And so they didn't go into the playoffs. I think you always want to go into the playoffs feeling like you have a little bit of momentum and confidence. Now, having said that, it's such a wacky league in terms of the parity that anyone can go in and say, we might feel invincible, but we've got the opportunity to do something here. And I think you saw that in the case specifically with the Crew playing the Red Bulls, the team that they controlled throughout the course of the regular season. And then the Crew, with all these games they had played, I think the fatigue really started to set in. I don't ever think they found a like-for-like replacement with Aiden Morris. Rossi didn't play in that first game. So you had two teams in New York and New York City that were kind of primed to maybe push the limits on both these teams and caught them at the right time. And I think both are maybe kind of kicking themselves, Columbus and Cincinnati, because the East is wide open right now with the 4, the 6, the 7, and the 9 seeds remaining in the playoffs. But I think it's a little bit more perplexing just with what the Crew had and Wilfred Nancy coming back and Cucho Hernandez, and now their futures in terms of will other clubs pursue them in the winter window, both coach and arguably your best player, and what's it going to look like in 2025 now. So for Columbus, there's a little bit more of a question there, but I think for FC Cincinnati, you get Miazga back. They're talking about Kevin Dinky and a $15 million contract to a guy in Belgium, and I think that's one of the issues they have to address in terms of the scoring up top that will allow them to maybe come back stronger with Lucho Acosta and Orejano and the team they put together this year.
What do each of these teams need to add to go the distance when we come back for the next season?
And I brought this up briefly with FC Cincinnati. Let's start with them because they have targeted the issue of a center forward and at least the ability to score consistently. I think over the last 15 games of the regular season, they went over 2 goals once. And you can win games with good defense if you win 2-1, but oftentimes having that killer goal or the ability to put games away is what separates you from the pack. And their balance and structure defensively, which under a great coach like Pat Noonan is not going to be sacrificed, but if you get the ability to score more goals, and I think adding Orejano mid-season or earlier in the calendar year as a wingback was a huge coup for them, and then getting Acosta to play at an MVP level, which he always has since he's been in a Cincinnati uniform, is important. And then you add the center forward piece, and I think they had Kevin Kelsey, and he's still young and had some good games, but I think if you go out and spend $15 million on a player like they're rumored to do for the Togolese international forward, Kevin Danke, who plays for Bruges in Belgium. This guy won the Golden Boot in the Belgian league last year, scoring the most goals. So when you bring in a DP of that caliber, then you expect results. So I think that's the top bucket list item for FC Cincinnati in their offseason window. And then for Columbus, it's more about, are they going to keep Cucho, or is there going to be somewhere between a $15 and $20 million offer that goes for Cucho Hernandez, and you're not able to keep him? Wilfried Monsi, arguably playing some of the most stylistic and revolutionary soccer that MLS has seen in the last half decade with his team. Is he going to be plucked over by a European club, or is someone in England wanting to give up the money to make sure that he's now at a higher status over in Europe? Who knows? I think if they can retain those guys, then they're going to have an excellent team, and they'll still be in the contention window. And then going back to the point about Aidan Morris, who went off to Middlesbrough midseason, the Columbus defensive midfielder, who was sensational in his growth, meteoric in terms of the rise throughout the league. Sean Zawadzki's an excellent player, and he can play all over the field for Columbus. But I think you need someone in a like-for-like, that bulldog mentality. He paired so well with Darlington Nagbe. And while the games piled up for Columbus, and I think they showed a little bit of their fatigue, their retention of keeping the ball, or at least allowing goals late in games, that kind of starts with Morris and his ability when people are cutting off Darlington Nagbe. So can they find a player that is in his caliber or stead, or they have one through the system? And I think if Columbus answers that, then they can be right back to where they expected to be this year.
We want to thank Neil Sika for joining us and talking about all of the excitement in Ohio with Major League Soccer. And more Ohio Sports Magazine is straight ahead when we come back on the Ohio News Network.
Bishop and Friends.
You got to make sure that this isn't something that becomes a mental block. When you come into pressure, the feeling is we can't handle it.
Bishop and Friends.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Discover fantastic holiday gift ideas at low prices this week at Meijer. Enjoy 20% off select board games and puzzles for the whole family. Get 20% off select Lego playsets. Save $170 on a KitchenAid 5.5-quart stand mixer, now only $279.99. Experience the sense of the season when you save 30% on Yankee Candle products. Shop in-store or online at Meijer.com, and you'll receive the same low prices no matter how you choose to shop. Exclusions apply.
Listen, you've been making house payments for years, right? And right now, your home's value has never been higher, right? That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. Good for you. That's cash you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel, everything you want. The catch is, you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with the TrueHold Sell and Stay Leaseback program. This is a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to TrueHold while its value is high. You bank all that equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And TrueHold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a TrueHold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. TrueHold.com.
At Humana, our Medicare Advantage plans give you coverage and care you can count on, along with guided support to help you feel your best. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options and choose a Medicare Advantage plan. You'll feel confident because you have plan options that fit your needs. You could have a plan with a $0 premium and even personalized care from a wide network of doctors, or all-in-one plans that may include medical and prescription coverage, as well as routine dental, vision, and hearing. When it comes to the benefits and support you need, Humana has Medicare Advantage plans made for your well-being and your wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Welcome to Reverse Aesthetics. Our medical weight loss program includes popular medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide, both of which are supercharged by our body sculpting treatments. For only $2.99 per month, under the supervision of our board-certified medical doctor, Reverse Aesthetics can help you achieve your weight loss goals while tracking progress quarterly. We have plenty of inventory and can begin treatment within 48 hours of your consult. Schedule now at reverse-aesthetics.com or call us at 614-656-4000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Be prepared for heavy pockets of rain throughout the morning. Temperatures will start off fairly mild. We'll be rising through the 50s, and we get to about 61 in the afternoon, but we'll still be dealing with scattered showers throughout the afternoon. We'll also have to deal with some breezy conditions. Winds will be out of that southerly direction between 12 and 18 miles per hour, gusting up to 30 miles per hour at times. Finally get rid of that rain later this evening, and then we fall down into those mid-40s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Erica Colora.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan. This is ONN.
In case you missed it, the college football playoff will expand to 12 teams this year. The field will include the Power 4 conference champions. It could include FBS independents, as well as the highest-ranked team among the group of 5 conferences. The final college football playoff bracket will be unveiled Sunday, December 8th. The top 4 seeds are the highest-ranked conference champions. They'll get a bye in the first round. The first-round games will be played at college sites between December 20th and the 21st. The second round will be at bowl game sites on December 31st and January 1st. Between them, teams will be jockeying for playoff positioning, and Power 4 conferences will begin to lobby for more at-large bids for their schools. That includes the Big Ten Conference and the Southeastern Conference. Many think those two could put as many as 4 teams each. Paul Feinbaum covers college football at large for ESPN and joined Bo Bishop earlier this week on ONN affiliate WBNS FM in Columbus. Paul says an SEC team cannot afford a third loss and still hope to make the college football playoff.
There's only one scenario, and that's a highly regarded 2-loss team makes it to Atlanta for the SEC game, maybe loses a tight game. I think that's going to be a big debate, certainly in the SEC. I have the commissioner on tonight, and that's going to be a question that I'm asking is, do you get penalized for going to the SEC game?
So I said this when I saw the obviously the Georgia loss to Ole Miss, which was comprehensive. Give Ole Miss a lot of credit. I mean, they buried them. Georgia, to me, feels like the only SEC team who could pull that off. You know it far more intimately than I do. Where is Georgia from a what is their path to play in an SEC title game, if any?
Yeah, I mean, they have a path. It's complicated, and I'll spare your audience the possibility of an 8-way tie. But right now, Texas and Alabama are in the best shape. I think the winner of the Texas A&M game, assuming that they both hold serve, and Alabama are in the best shape. Georgia has a bigger hill to climb. The most bizarre thing is that LSU, believe it or not, still could get there. And they already have 3 losses, one to SC. So really, LSU might be the best, because should they get to the SEC game with 3 losses and then win, they're in automatically. So that's probably the best possibility.
Boy, if you're Kalen DeBoer, do you even want to play for that SEC title?
No.
That's what I think.
This is the year that you're better off. There is an advantage, but there's a lot of wear and tear in that game.
There's a lot of wear and tear in that game, and there's also the chance that you could drop that third loss in that game. Could happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, last year, everybody remembers that Georgia was undefeated and lost that game and got kicked out of the playoff.
You had Lane Kiffin to start your show yesterday. You and him are fast friends and longtime friends from a long time. I'm sure you get Christmas cards and so forth. His Ole Miss team had themselves a day.
Yeah, I mean, that's as good a performance as you can find. And what's interesting about Lane Kiffin is he lost to Georgia the year before, 52-17, I believe, and said we're not going to do this anymore. So he went to the portal and got 17 players who have all made contributions, including one of the best linemen in the country from A&M. And you saw the result. I mean, it wasn't even a perfect game for Ole Miss. They weren't dynamic offensively. But their defense was just suffocating, and it makes you wonder how in the world did Ole Miss lose to Kentucky at home, which is a terrible team, and losing in Tiger Stadium is a little bit different, but it's remarkable that they have any blemishes on their record.
Paul, if you go back to the beginning of the year, and you and I have talked about this several times, most people who follow the sport closely would say Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, and Georgia had more talent than everybody else, and Alabama was probably nipping at the heels of that a little bit. Georgia has been pretty wildly disappointing, especially at quarterback with Carson Beck. What has gone on with Georgia? How surprised were you with the way that they performed on last Saturday, and what do you expect at them? Of course, they get Tennessee this weekend.
I mean, I've been shocked. A lot of reasons for it. One of their key offensive linemen just came back. He was terrible in the Ole Miss game. So, I mean, the line has broken down. That's one problem. Number two, Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers are gone. And you just have no idea how much Carson Beck relied on those guys because they could catch anything and do anything. He's got average receivers. By the way, I don't know how Georgia gets average receivers, but they do. And Carson Beck has lost confidence. And on top of that, they have played just an absolutely menacing schedule. Kentucky early on, which almost beat them, and then Alabama, Texas, and Ole Miss. I mean, it's really hard to find three tougher games than that. And, they've won one, which is pretty remarkable because that one win right now is what's keeping them alive.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Meijer knows that Thanksgiving is a time to come together, eat together, and share together. During the week of Thanksgiving, November 24th through the 30th, when you buy Meijer brand foods, our Simply Give program will feed up to 4 million neighbors in need. So when you bring that perfectly fluffed stuffing to the table, the cranberry sauce and green bean casserole, you're actually bringing more good to more neighbors. Let's bring more good to Thanksgiving with Meijer brand and Simply Give. Exclusions apply. See Meijer.com for details.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. Here's something that ECO stands for that you did not see coming. Okay. Echocardiogram. I did not see that coming.
Get Eco.
ECO. Most people think if they call someone about their furnace or heat pump, some unscrupulous salesman is going to pressure them to buy a whole new unit, even if their old one could be repaired and give them years more service.
Get Eco.
ECO. Your heart starts racing and you're sweating and breathing funny and your echocardiogram just goes nuts. I'll say. As the guy who invented those hospital wristbands that always stick to your arm hair, I know a thing or two about echocardiograms.
Get Eco.
ECO. But call Eco and our team will explain all your options, what you can fix, how much it costs, and how that compares to a whole new system. And your echocardiogram? Nice and flat. I mean flat-ter. Actually, flat is bad. Don't worry, they didn't let me invent any of the medical stuff.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Combat falling interest rates now. Lock in a 7-month certificate from Kemba Financial Credit Union and earn up to 4.5% annual percentage yield. Visit Kemba.org for details. Hurry! This exceptional rate offer expires December 31st, 2024. APY equals annual percentage yield. Restrictions apply. $500 minimum deposit required to open and earn stated APY and $250,000 maximum deposit. Advantage status required. Federally insured by NCUA.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
At the Home Depot, the holidays have arrived.
And so is all my family. So I'm working on keeping up with the laundry.
The Home Depot is here to help with Black Friday savings up to 40% off select appliances. Spend less time doing laundry with smart, efficient appliances from Samsung, ranked #1 in customer satisfaction.
Perfect. Less laundry time means more family time.
Get Black Friday savings now with free delivery and financing on select appliances at the Home Depot. Visit jdpower.com/awards for more details. Offer valid November 6th through December 4th. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Let's catch up on the Cincinnati Bengals with our Paul Keels.
Well, each week it's our pleasure to talk with Jeff Hobson, the emperor of Bengals.com. Butch, certainly on the heels of the game at Baltimore last week, one of the more, even though the outcome was not what everybody that are Bengals fans would like, one of the more exciting football games to see. It had to appear that way to you, didn't it?
Well, they seem to be the straight man in these things, Keels. They put on a great show in prime time, and of course, they've now got, some people argue the two best teams in the AFC are Baltimore and Kansas City. Well, the Bengals have lost to them all basically on the last play of the game and by a total of 5 points. So that's a tough thing to swallow, but it certainly shows you that, they can really score with anyone.
They certainly can. Do you get, and we see this in cycles at different times, Butch, do you subscribe to the theory that sometimes an opponent can get into a team's head like Baltimore seems to be with the Bengals right now?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there is some truth to that. I think back in the day, the Bengals had to get over that hump with the Ravens and the Steelers. But I think, the Bengals have had their, they've lost some really tight ones to the Ravens. So I don't think it's a thing of where they can't beat them. It's almost become, they beat them on the last play each of the games this year, the Ravens did, and they beat them on a field goal the year before that. And it's they can certainly move the ball on them. I mean, nobody's getting more yards against the Ravens than Jamar Chase, and it's Burrow has got great numbers against Baltimore. The only thing that he doesn't is I think he's 1-6 against Lamar Jackson. So while I do think I just don't really, to be quite honest, I just don't think I think they're in a pretty good headspace when they go against Baltimore. They just can't they can't seem to get the last play.
Is this the best of Jamar Chase that we're seeing here, Butch, right now?
Yeah, there's no question. They've done a great job. I talked about it with them this week about how much they're moving him around in this offense, and that really seems to have sprung him. He says, "Hey, I've been waiting for this year. I'm free," and he chalks it up to his knowledge of the playbook. He says it took him 3 years to know it cold, but right now he can line up anywhere, and he does. And this is really the first year he's been. You just never know where he's going to go. He's taken some of Tyler Boyd's balls that were in the slot. He's taken some of T. Higgins' balls. Higgins has been out 5 games, and he's had some of his own. So this guy, Keelso, he's on track to be the 3rd Triple Crown winner in the league for receiving yards, catches, and touchdowns. And this guy's fun to watch.
He certainly is, and I saw that reference in your article on Bengals.com. Folks should check that out about the Triple Crown. Also impressive, Butch, given the fact that while Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow have this great wavelength going, that people might try and defense for that, but others are doing their parts to keep this defense moving, but that's not Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase?
I think, they've gotten a lot out of Mike Gesicki, the veteran tight end that they signed in the offseason. He's had some big games for them. I think they feel like Chase Brown is. I think they feel like their running attack is better than it has been. So I think that's been a little bit better. I think the amazing thing that they've done this without Higgins. He's missed 5 games, and but yet I think what we talked about before, lining up Chase in so many different spots, that kind of keeps the defense guessing. And it'll really be interesting. They're trying to they're bringing along their rookie receiver that they're real high on, the third-round pick, Jermaine Burton. He played the most snaps of his career last Thursday night in Baltimore. I think we'll see more of him. But, it's really kind of fun to watch what they've done with Chase, and it doesn't seem to matter who's on the field with him. He's going to catch the ball.
Butch, where does this have us looking at what's going on with the Bengals defense right now?
I think they're Lou Anarumo right now, the defensive coordinator, he's trying different people in different spots. He's got some rotations going up front and in the secondary, and he's trying to find that chemistry. And I think you're going to see probably a lot more of Jordan Battle, the safety. He's played well the last couple games. I think you might see more of Miles Murphy, their first-round pick, their edge guy. They've got some people banged up on the D-line. They're not, it's Trey Hendrickson and the cast of thousands. They need somebody to help him on the pass rush. So I think he likes what Joseph Osai has given them in the run game. And I think really that's what we're looking at, particularly this week, Kilzo. Lou is looking to stop the run. That's why I think you'll see more of Battle. That's why I think you'll see more of Joseph Osai. I think these guys they've really come on lately. And they're playing a Jim Harbaugh team. You've seen this enough when he was in Michigan. There's no question how he's going to play the game. He's going to run the ball. If he can't run it, he's going to keep trying to run it.
Jeff Hobson from Bengals.com. Butch, we are always better for your wisdom. Thank you so much.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
Hey, folks, it's game day, and the betting's going to be intense, Drew.
You said it, Dave, but a good pregame routine keeps betting responsible.
That's right. You got to pause before you play.
Good call. Sports betting is hot, but it can be risky.
And pausing to set limits is an all-star move.
That's right, Dave. If you bet on sports, pause before you play to set limits, recognize the risk, and know when to stop.
Learn more at pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
November is an ideal month to plant trees in Ohio because the soil is still warm, which reduces the transplant stress. Plus, trees require less water in November than in the heat of the summer, allowing roots to grow in the cooler temperatures. When planting trees, keep these tips in mind. Select trees that are zone hardy for where you plan to plant. Avoid planting trees that produce slip hazards like fruits and nuts close to sidewalks. And don't plant large trees near or under utility lines. To learn more about the November tree planting, contact an ISA certified arborist near you by going to trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
I don't know what I want to do. I'm just not sure that college is right for me.
Have you considered a career in dental assisting? I love my job as a dental assistant. I have flexible work hours, the money is good, and I get to work in a professional, people-oriented dental office. What I really love about my job is knowing that I give people a healthy smile.
For more information about becoming a dental assistant, contact your high school guidance counselor. Or if you are no longer in school, talk to a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton. ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Now let's get some highlights from the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Here's producer Bodie Wells to set the scene.
Thanks, Jay. On the show this week, the guys chatted about the red-hot Cleveland Cavaliers.
What is more likely to happen this season? The Cavs break the Warriors' regular season win record, that's 73, or Ty Jerome wins the Sixth Man of the Year award?
Ty Jerome wins the Sixth Man of the Year
There's
award.
a sweep.
Yeah.
Ty Jerome.
Yeah, Ty Jerome.
His
man.
odds are currently 180 to 1 to win Sixth Man of the Year.
I mean, the Warriors was on 70 what and what?
73 and 9.
No. A 9 is crazy.
What are the Cavs odds? They got to be longer.
I only see odds to go undefeated.
Undefeated?
So here's what you should have did. You should have said the Cavs this year breaking the record when they were 66-12. 66-12 when LeBron was here was a really
Cavs record. Yeah.
Cavs record.
Yeah.
I would have picked that record over Ty Jerome.
Yeah.
But you're not the same.
All right, clean sweep, Mike. Ty Jerome.
To catch the full breakdown, just search for the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on YouTube. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and enjoy their daily content covering all things Cleveland sports. We'll be back to wrap up this week's Ohio Sports Magazine show here on the Ohio News Network.
We have a lot of football happening. I'm here to help. Set your radio preset to the Fan. Very good. Now set a second one to ESPN Columbus. It's the HD2 button. Lastly, go to the Fan's HD3 and save the Fan 3. Crisis averted. You're welcome.
Saving on all your gifts at Meijer and saving more when you redeem M-Perks rewards might sound like a holiday miracle. Getting more fresh produce and redeeming more on favorite presents? Earning points on holiday essentials and rewarding yourself with the hottest electronics. It's like getting snow on Christmas morning and someone else to shovel it. Saving on the season at Meijer is good, but saving even more with M-Perks rewards? That's a good deal better. Earn points, claim rewards, and bring more good to the holidays with M-Perks at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or on the Meijer app.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. As we head into winter, you don't want to be stuck with old drafty windows making your heating system work overtime. Universal Windows Direct is here to help you keep your house warm and save you money on those energy bills. And here's the best part. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free, and there's no limit. On top of that, Universal Windows Direct is offering 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years. Restrictions apply because they always do. Call them today, 614-502-5220. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Okay, name? Occupation? Great. You get a brand new Kia for less than lunch, under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
Is that a turkey?
Of course, we're talking turkey. With event pricing and the credit approve-a-thon. Wow, and new Kias are less than lunch? Yes, under $5 a day. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV6 Wind, and Sorento LX. All 3 under $5 a day. Wow, that's only $139 a month for 24 months. Plus new 24 Kia Telluride LX under $8 a day. $249 for 24 months. He just got an EV6 with 0% financing. Lucky goose. Turkey. Turkey, right. But I'd never get approved. If you've got a job, you ride. You guys are great. Great cars, great people. Great Lakes Kia. In Columbus. GreatLakesKia.com. GreatLakesKia.com. You're such a ham.
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
At Humana, our Medicare Advantage plans give you coverage and care you can count on, along with guided support to help you feel your best. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options and choose a Medicare Advantage plan. You'll feel confident because you have plan options that fit your needs. You could have a plan with a $0 premium and even personalized care from a wide network of doctors, or all-in-one plans that may include medical and prescription coverage, as well as routine dental, vision, and hearing. When it comes to the benefits and support you need, Humana has Medicare Advantage plans made for your well-being and your wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
What's up, sandwich heads? Today on Steve-O's Sandwich Reviews, we've got the tips and tricks to the best sandwich order. And it all starts with this little guy right here. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Partial to pastrami, craving a Cubano. Yeah, sounds delicious, but boom! Add the crisp, refreshing taste of Pepsi, zero sugar, and cue the fireworks. Lunch, dinner, or late night, it'll be a sandwich worth celebrating. Trust me, your boy's eaten a lot of sandwiches in his day, and the one thing I can say with absolute fact, every bite is better with Pepsi.
News, opinions, and insight, all before breakfast. Rise and shine with Morning Juice.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Big thank yous this week to our guests Neil Sika, Ron Stokes, and Bob Zimmer. Thanks to all of our Locked On podcast contributors this week as well. For Bodie Wells, Eric Reeser, and Paul Keels, I'm Jay Fox. Thanks for listening to Ohio Sports Magazine. Join us next week right here on the Ohio News Network.